Okay, so I love Scarface, and I feel like I may have to justify this to an extent. I suppose when I announced that I'm obsessed with De Palma's vibrant decision making as a film director, it is accepted and understood that Scarface is bursting with visual character in terms of the production design, the photographic ethos, and its assertive editing philosophy. As far as screenplay and performances go, the main factor in this film's continued enjoyment by more casual, less film snobby or De Palma oriented fans. Scarface is simply a vehicle for De Palma's charismatic execution, as far as I'm concerned. Or I'd be lying if I claimed to find no entertainment from the Stone script and from how its cast embodies the hyperactive players which Stone presents them. And then the music, Scarface is so aggressively modern to 1983 that it remains one of the most distinct films in the English language, allegedly dated as a result or not. This facet of the film isn't as refined, sleek, or critically celebrated as Man's Manhunter is to 86, or De Palma's subsequent Body Double for 84, complete with an appearance from Frankie Goes to Hollywood themselves. Yet it is vital to why audiences from outside, not born or not cognizant during the 1980s, adore Scarface so much. Scarface's live and let it raw narrative philosophy, whether the film celebrates this notion entirely is not certain, maybe intrinsically, but definitely not consciously. It is so associated with a cultural memory of the 1980s in general. Ronald Reagan, Wall Street, visceral pop music, a contrast with the slacker indifference of 1990s alternative rock or electronic dance inspired cultural movements, or the 21st century postmodern irony celebrating millennial discourse both. Scarface's elimination of shame, complete with Tony Montana's rockstar demise, has cemented the picture's place in our pop zeitgeist perpetually, to not many individuals' surprise, though whether this is to be bemoaned or not is worth discussing. On paper, the film doesn't glorify Tony Montana, although the impressionable younger people tend to take away the idea that Montana is a really cool and admirable guy, someone you want to who you want to aspire to. Look, he didn't want to kill the innocent woman and her kids. He wasn't as bad as Sosa, yet he's still accountable for his actions, for associating with these people in the first place. Now, this might say more about young men raised in a violent cowboy culture across the developed world, not just in America, though inspired, certainly in large part, though not exclusively, by America, than about Brian De Palma or Oliver Stone's intent with that character, although it may expose a blind spot in narrative filmmaking where excessive violence is concerned, I feel. Obviously, logically, Tony Montana is a very bad guy, even if he has some obtusely redeeming qualities, not wanting to kill innocents, caring of his mother and his sister, far too caring, obviously, being honest, not telling lies, so he claims anyway. Aesthetically, the film is saying another thing, or something distinct from Tony is a bad guy. The film is also communicating that Tony Montana is a man who impresses dangerous people, who gets what he wants in life, and who doesn't let anyone push him around. Maybe this is illuminating the pathologically fascist trap innate to post-war, Cold War capitalist culture, especially as it developed as an ideological counter-reaction to perceived communist/socialist ideology, and maybe, this could make Scarface one of the best or at least most immediately entertaining films about capitalism, although most audiences will be ignorant of this, and it is both their fault and the filmmaker's fault in vaguely equal measure, somewhat. Scarface points out how innate violence is to ambitious young men in a modern market economy, especially in an environment that posits anti-communism as the replacement of old Christianity as we knew it, even among men who have seemingly modest or ordinary intentions. Tony Montana, ambitious, but many young men are, before Scarface and after Scarface, sometimes inspired by Scarface. They will gladly become criminal killers in order to ensure their experiencing of the fabled, motivating American dream. Scorsese told one of the film's cast, so the story goes, but the Hollywood elites would despise and disregard Scarface. This is before the film's popular commercial success at the box office, and then especially post for release, because it was, whether they were willing to admit it or not, inherently about them. We endorse Scarface here on AOD. I love it, I don't care, for the reasons a De Palma snob would, and the reasons a jubilant 12-year-old would. Gunfire, bikini bodies, mature content, a chainsaw, top dog boasting, lavish locales, and active pacing. So push it to the limit. I'm hot tonight. Now, shake it up in the night. Tell me that you love me, tell me that you'll stay the night.